Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Station 655, The Minarch, your favorite talk radio program for the brave soldiers of the Republic. From Coruscant to the far reaches of the Outer Rim, we have thoughts and opinions, and we want to hear from you. I'm your host, CT1586, aka Slackjack. Please welcome today's guest and General of the 303rd Division, Jedi Master Kukuri Takai. Thank you for joining us here today, General.
Thank you for having me, Trooper.
Boy, I bet Racket would love to be here right now.
Yes, I was made aware of his colorful comments by my apprentice.
How is Commander Urshon, by the way?
Busy. As well he should be. If he ever wants to be a Jedi Knight, he needs to keep his mind focused.
Well, I'll bet he's listening in on this show as we speak. Anyway, General, you know how this works. We get questions from our listeners for you to answer. Why don't we start?
Very well.
Our first question comes from Papa in the 212th. He writes, General, as you know, me and all my brothers were bred for war, and all you Jedi were brought up to be peacekeepers. My question for you is, how do you feel about this? Do you feel it clashes with your ideology working alongside me and my brothers? I mean no disrespect in asking this, ma'am. I'm just curious.
There's nothing disrespectful about it, Popper. It's complicated, however. You and your brothers are bred to be soldiers. You were made for combat. Jedi were never meant to be warriors and soldiers. We are meant to be peacekeepers and seekers of truth. However, because the peace has been threatened, we have been given no choice but to step forward and defend the Republic we have sworn to serve. And if I am to lead soldiers into battle, I couldn't ask for finer than the 303rd.
Our next question is from Lucas Kersher, who writes, You are a very respected master by many, but who was your master?
My master was a man by the name of Don Wei Fa. He is sadly no longer with us, and it is a subject I'd rather not get into at this time. Know only that he was a complicated man, but one whom I miss.
Understandable. Our next question is from Tiro, one of our regular listeners. He writes, Dear Master Takai, I am a student here on Coruscant, and came across somebody named Revan in my research. I've tried looking deeper into his history, but it's very conflicting information that states he was both a Jedi and a Sith. Since you're a Jedi, could you tell me the real history about Revan? Also, what is your favorite dinosaur?
I'm not entirely sure what a dinosaur is, but I can tell you a bit about Revan. Revan's history is a complicated one. Thousands of years ago, he was indeed a Jedi, but he and another Jedi named Malak grew angry that the Jedi were not aiding in the war against the Mandalorians. Because of this, they left the Order to lead others into battle against the Mandalorians. Somewhere along the way, Malak and Revan became Sith Lords. I'm afraid that's all I can say at the moment. My time is rather short here.
Next is a question from Noah Stewart, who asks, What was the hardest part about training Cassius?
Cassius wasn't too difficult to train, in all honesty. At least once he reached the age of 13. He was always eager to learn and to prove himself. However, when he feels he has to step in and help, even when given orders not to, he's nearly impossible to stop. During the Dioxis attacks by Dravok on the Jedi Temple, Cassius set out to stop the attacks himself along with Sarah and Corbin. It was extremely reckless, but I've come to expect that from him. He will be a great Jedi one day, but only when he learns to maintain control of his impulsive behavior.
Our next question is from Frank Horrigan, who writes, Greetings, Master Jedi. What is your stance on Force users that reject both Jedi and dark side teachings? Although I'm sure they're uncommon, it seems more than possible for such individuals to exist.
There are many Force users in the galaxy. Not all are Jedi and not all are Sith. The Force is not something that belongs to the Jedi. Others are able to tap into its gifts as well. Some use these gifts for good, others for selfish reasons. Though it is not my place to make judgments on such individuals unless they threaten the innocent.
From Jordan Cox. Good morning, Master Takai. I have 3 questions. 1. What are your thoughts on the Clone Wars, and do you think there could ever be a peaceful end to it? 2. What is your opinion on Chancellor Palpatine, and do you think he's doing a good job? 3. What is your stance on Jedi who fall in love? Have a great week.
The Clone Wars have already taken countless lives. Peaceful resolution is out of the question at this point. I cannot say I fully trust the Chancellor's judgment, but it is not my place to involve myself in the politics of the Senate. As for Jedi who fall in love, it's quite complicated. Feelings of attachment are natural, but a Jedi's commitment must be to the Force above all else.
Deb II asks, what are your thoughts on the Jedi of the Old Republic? Are they different from the current order, or are they the same?
The Jedi of the Old Republic held far more black and white views than the modern order. If something was seen as evil, it needed to be destroyed. If a Jedi struggled with the dark side, rather than help them, many of the old Jedi chose instead to expel them. The modern order has its issues, but we take a more balanced and measured approach to how we act in these scenarios these days.
Zachary Wagster asks, what is the hardest part about being a Jedi, and what advice would you give to Jedi Knights to train their first Padawans?
The hardest part about being a Jedi is forgoing many of the pleasures of normal people. Love, emotion, freedom, possessions. But we live these lives in the pursuit of knowledge and keeping the galaxy safe. To any knights who are preparing to train their first student, my advice would be to exercise patience. Do not expect perfection. Expect improvement with each day. Perfection is impossible, but growing and learning more every day is what every master should desire from their student.
From Intellectual Hunt. Hello, Master Kukuri Takai. Oh, very formal. It's good to see such a good Jedi defending the Republic. If I may ask, what are your thoughts on crime on Coruscant? Do you feel you could do more to help these citizens? And do you feel the Republic is letting these conditions occur? Also, I'm moving away from Coruscant to another planet because I'm finally able to.
Thank you for your kind words. I'm flattered that you believe I'm doing my job well.
Simp.
However, stopping crime on Coruscant is like trying to hold the ocean in a bucket. You can only stop so much. The Jedi are keepers of the peace. We are not police. We leave the protection of Coruscant's citizens to the police and the Senate who make the laws.
Our final question is from Ultra Shadow 95, who writes, hello, General. My name is CT5739, but my brothers call me Cooper. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask what the Republic and the Jedi plan to do to help me and all my brothers after the war is over. Considering all my brothers and I have known as war, there isn't much talk about it, so I'd like to know. That is a good question. I'm eager to know myself. What are the plans, General?
The reassignment of you and your brothers will be left to the Kaminoans and the Senate. However, I can tell you this. If it were up to me, I would give every clone a choice. Either to live out their lives as they see fit, making their own way in the galaxy, or to find work within the Republic. You men have given so much already in service to the Republic. It should only be fair that you receive proper care and opportunity when the war is finished. And when it is, I will be here to help how I can.
That makes me feel so much better. Thank you so much for your time, General. And thank you... Oh, we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Slackjack, sorry to interrupt. Master, I can't find your book. I've looked everywhere for it.
Are you sure about that? You've looked everywhere?
Yes, I don't know where it could be.
Did you look under your bed?
Found it. Thanks, Master.
What am I going to do with that boy?
I'm sure you'll figure something out. Thank you again, Master Takai, for joining us here today. And thank you all for tuning in. Before we go, instead of a sponsorship, I want to take the time to address you. Yes, you, the listener. Whether you're a soldier of the Republic, or just a dedicated listener, I hope you're all taking good care of yourselves. I know how tough things are these days. It can be tempting to just give up. But I want you to know that I care about you. You matter. You are stronger than your demons. And you will rise up and keep moving. We all have our problems. We all have our trials. But if we stick together and show compassion to each other, we can get through anything. Treat yourself with the love and respect that you deserve. And remember, old Slackjack loves you. Thank you again for tuning in, friends. We will be right back with Gore and Al to discuss the melting of the ice caps on Hoth and its effect on the wildlife. Stay tuned.